I really heavily contemplated whether or not to film this video because I don't necessarily have a fully formed opinion on what I'm about to talk about, but I think that's the reason why I want to make a video about it now. I've never been like a huge Chappell Roan fan, but I've never hated her either. But for the past few, I don't know, I'm going to say 3 or 4 days, I've seen so much shit about her online to the point where it's the only thing on my For You page sometimes. But not just about the Call Her Daddy podcast that she was on, but also her demeanor in general, people thinking she's rude, people calling her rude, people calling her entitled, people saying she's ungrateful, just a bunch of stuff really. And I really wanted to know and kind of figure out where I stood on the issue. So hopefully by the end of this video, I will have come to a conclusion, but there is so much to go through that I'm just gonna have to get right into it. The first thing I'm gonna talk about is the bit that I care the most about. A lot of people at the moment are using the words white feminism to describe Chappell Roan and the way she approaches a lot of societal and political issues. And I definitely agree to some extent. I would say that it's more of a performative style of politics and ideology. I'll explain what I mean. So most people have seen the clip of her on the Call Her Daddy podcast where she says, "Why is everyone coming to me for political advice?" Now, interestingly, that clip has a larger bit before it that no one adds to the clip, because when you just look at the second half of the clip, it looks like it's her saying "I'm sorry that you want me to know everything. I can't know everything." And that's that. In reality, she's saying, I can't know everything about queer culture, drag culture, all these things, as well as do everything else perfectly.
I'm gay and I should be more politically correct about that, and I should actually be way more knowledgeable about it. And so I get asked a lot of fucking crazy questions that a lot of my peers would not get asked. And that's because I'm gay. And that's because I have my opinions, but that doesn't mean I'm completely I don't know everything about every topic I have opinions on. I don't know everything about being gay. I don't know everything about being a woman. I don't know everything about fucking fashion or drag or performing. I try to know everything I can.
She says, "I'm a pop star. I wish the president was a pop star, but she's not. I wish that I did have the answers to everything. Why do you think I have the answers to everything?"
You can't.
How can these girls tour, write, perform, interview, sleep, eat, and fucking work out? And how can they do it all and lead a team and be a boss and pay people and be fucking so politically educated?
It's exhausting.
And it's also impossible. Also, why the fuck are you looking to me for some political answer? You think I have the fucking answer?
But you're listen to my song, bitch.
Now, the thing is with this is why, to me, it feels like her politics is performative. Because she has set herself up in a way where she has to be political. And now she's turning around and saying, well, I don't know everything. I can't know everything. And you're making me know everything. And I don't think people are. However, her entire image, her entire persona is built off of drag queens and drag culture. So it is inherently political. Just straight out of the gate, it's political. She sings about being a lesbian and being queer, inherently political. She dress up as the Statue of Liberty, incredibly political. She refused to perform at the White House, insanely political. She can't, in my opinion, then turn around and say, well, you can't expect me to, can't come to me for answers, when her entire brand is political. And people aren't necessarily going to her for answers, they're going to her for opinions. And it is true. She does say this later. She says, people can't make their own opinions. And that's unfortunately really true. A lot of the time, people can't make their own logical decisions and they have to turn to celebrities, turn to whatever. I think what Chappell's saying in her instance, compare her to an average pop star, Olivia Rodrigo, who is a very politically informed person, might I add. It is very different for Olivia Rodrigo and then Chappell Roan, because Olivia Rodrigo's persona and career isn't supported by mostly queer people, isn't based off of drag culture. It's very, very different. Like, she has drag queens at her shows, performing at her shows, and then she'll turn around and say, I can't, like, be political. Like, I don't know why you're looking for me for answers. And this is why I'm so, like, on the fence about the whole situation, because I don't think people should be turning to Chappell Roan for answers. I think the only people that the public should be turning to for answers is politicians, scholars, and maybe people close in their life, or people who are educated on politics. But Chappell Roan should be educated on specific politics, like things that affect queer people, trans people, minorities, especially when it comes to the fact that her entire brand is so intertwined with drag culture which comes from Black people, Black trans women, Black men. I believe that the first drag queen in the 1800s was a Black man who had been enslaved, and he started doing drag. Like, you can't be apolitical when your entire career is supported by queer people. You absolutely cannot be apolitical in that instance. And she said time and time before, oh, we have to protect trans joy, we have to protect queer people and minorities and to then go I don't have to be political, I don't have to have all the answers, but you've started your brand politically. You have to continue it politically. You have to at this point. And it's unfair to place this expectation on her and then not other artists, but I don't know. That's just the way I feel about it. The next thing I was going to say is that everyone says that she complains all the time and that she's so, she'll find anything to complain about. Every day there's something new for her to bitch about. And I don't dislike her for this because I'm the exact same way. I am the biggest complainer on earth. I'll do nothing all day and I'll be oh, I'm just so tired. I'm the biggest complainer ever. But I think the issue with Chappell is because she is a famous person, people just hate her for complaining, because in a lot of people's minds, famous people need to be perfect and happy all the time. She doesn't live an ordinary life. She really doesn't. She is very economically privileged now. If she stopped making songs and performing, she'd still be ranking in revenue, and a lot of it as well, a lot of money. I'm not saying she can't complain and she can't be miserable sometimes because she has money, because money doesn't make you happy. But not having money definitely doesn't make you any happier. For the average person, never having to ever be concerned about your finances ever again is completely incomprehensible to the average person. That's not going to happen to the average person. They will constantly be thinking about finances and their future and the stability of their life. She never has to have that. And I'm not saying that means that she can't be miserable sometimes, because everyone gets miserable sometimes. I'm not saying she can't complain, because everyone complains sometimes, and some people complain more than other people. Me and Chappell love to complain. However, she lacks so much media training. I personally believe I may or may not have the same level of media training as Chappell Roan does, and I've never had any. The way she goes about saying, when she said, all my friends who are parents are miserable, I have no idea if that's true or not. And she was only talking about her friends. A lot of people have taken that and just blown it out of context and said, she thinks all parents are miserable. No, and it is true that a lot of parents are miserable because it's difficult, especially in today's economic climate. But any celebrity who has any form of decent media training wouldn't say that way. They would say something along the lines of, it's so difficult to be a parent in today's life and people don't speak about it enough. That's a much better way of saying it. But the thing is with Chappell is that a lot of people who like her see this harshness, this rudeness as she's so real, she's so raw, she's down to earth, she's just speaking her truth, she's being who she is. But people who, for whatever reason, already dislike her see it as oh, she's so rude. She is so rude. And that's all they see it as, that she's rude. And the same goes for when she cancelled the shows for her mental health. I actually genuinely admire her ability to cancel the shows. I think a lot of pop stars wouldn't be able to do that out of fear of the backlash that she did in fact receive. The whole you don't care about your fans, the fans pay, everyone being upset, posting how upset they were and everything like that. I genuinely admire the fact that she was able to cancel those shows without like being like, I'm genuinely so sorry, oh my God, like you're never going to forgive me for this, and like cancelling them and just being honest and saying like, I feel like shit. Because your health and well-being should come over other people's expectations every single time. It should be placed higher, especially if you're a famous person and then there are a lot of people counting on you. That's going to put you under so much pressure. And I don't think it's fair to say that it's different because she's famous, she's not allowed to like have shit days, she's not allowed to feel bad. Like, no, that's not fair. And I see a lot of people saying like, oh, if she worked a full-time job at Lidl and she felt really stressed one day, she wouldn't be able to just like say, oh, I'm not coming in. She could. It would just be taken very differently and it would play out very differently. And she might not have had to do that, because the reason why she was cancelling these shows is because her mental health was poor, because she has, within like a year, she has just blown up and become very, very, very famous basically overnight, in my opinion, way quicker than most people do. And it's going to be a lot for her, but she just does lack media training. And that's the reason she faces a lot of backlash. Because the way she says things, it's not what she's saying a lot of the time, it's the way she says it, the way she does it. For example, when she was talking about fans coming up to her and she was saying like, I don't give a fuck if you care that I say no to a hug, I don't care that people think that's normal. It's like, whoa.
I don't give a if you think it's selfish of me to say no for a photo or for your time or for a hug. That's not normal. That's weird.
At the end of the day, I don't hate her for saying that. These are the people who are supporting your career. These are the people who are allowing you to do shows, to go onto these interviews, to perform like, and I understand, especially if you became very famous overnight, I would 100% understand how stressful that would be and how uncomfortable that would make you feel. But the way she says things, it's the way, who says, I don't give a fuck if you care that I say no about, or like whatever she said. Who says that? Like it comes across to me as someone who's not a massive fan of her. It genuinely comes across as so rude. But again, I understand. And I think a lot of people won't understand. I don't think a lot of people will understand because I don't think people deep it enough how stressful it must be to be in her position. The final thing I'm going to talk about is the way she spoke about the election. What did I just say? The election. So most people have seen the video of her talking about the election.
Endorsing and voting are completely different. I don't agree with a lot of what is going on with, like, policies. Like, obviously, fuck the policies of the right, but also fuck some of the policies on the left. That's why I can't endorse. That's why I can't, like, put my entire name and my entire project behind one. Because there is no way I can stand behind some of the left's completely transphobic and completely genocidal views. So yeah, there are huge problems on both. You know what is right and wrong, and so do I. Fuck Trump for fucking real, but fuck some of the shit that has gone down in the Democratic Party that has failed people like me and you. And more so, Palestine. And more so, every marginalized community in the world. So no, I'm not gonna settle for what the options that are in front of me. And you're not gonna make me feel bad for that. So yeah, I'm voting for fucking Kamala. And I'm not gonna let this narrative of like me not playing both sides. No. This is not me playing both sides. This is me questioning both sides because this is what we have in front of us. So if you look at my statement and you're still like, she's just playing both sides, like she doesn't wanna, no, you're not getting it. I'm critiquing both sides because they're both so fucked up. Voting is all we have right now in the system. And so I encourage it yet again, vote for who in your mind is the best option for what we have right now. I'm not picking the sides of what we have right now.
Where she basically says, I can't endorse one side or the other. Like, I can't fully put my name. I can't endorse either side, Kamala nor Trump, because I don't agree with the policies on both sides. Okay. She said there's a difference between voting and endorsing. That begs the question, does she think that every celebrity who has said, vote blue, go vote for Kamala, has been fully 100% behind her, endorsing her? Does she think that all the pro-Palestinian celebrities who have said, go vote blue, are fully behind Kamala? Does she? Because that's the point she made. She said, I don't support all her policies like Palestine. First of all, as she said, neither side's going to do anything beneficial or good even about the genocide. However, one is going to be significantly worse than the other, which she does say. She says there's obviously one worse than the other. She then should have followed that sentence with, so go vote for the better one, go vote for blue. But she doesn't. She says, go vote for whoever you think's best. Which, to be in a position where you have a large platform that you can use, you are being backed by queer people, the queer community is holding you up, and you turn around and you say, vote for whoever you want. I'm not going to tell you to go and vote for the person who's supporting trans rights, gay rights, minority rights, isn't going to deport anyone. I'm not going to tell you to go and do that. Go vote for who you want. Is ridiculous. In my opinion, completely ridiculous. Like she said, people can't create their own political opinion, and it's shit. And that's not how it should be. People should be able to formulate their own opinions. But they can't. She's aware people can't do that. And she doesn't do anything to help. And I think that's a very poor choice for her to make. She says there's huge problems on both sides, but you know what's right and wrong. And has just said that people can't create their own opinions. Which one is it? And are you going to do anything to help? Because so far, I don't think she has. For her to say, like, I can't endorse either side, no one's asking you to. No one's asking you to go and endorse. You can say, hey, I don't agree with either side, but you should vote blue because, or I'm going to vote blue because, or I'm against Trump because. And I'm not saying that she has to be the one to go out and change everyone's minds. But like she said, people are going to listen to her. People go to her for answers. Not necessarily answers, even opinions. People go to her for opinions. And she refuses to give any that are going to benefit anyone. Well, now she refuses, but she didn't used to. She used to say, trans people are everywhere, trans people are there, we have to help them, we have to protect trans joy, da, da, da. But as soon as it came to, oh, who are you going to vote for? Who do you think everyone should vote for? She's like, oh, I don't know. I can't tell you. I can't pick sides. You know what to... And it's like, I'm not political. I don't have to... And it's like, whoa. You are... My issue with her is she is inherently political. She is. From the second she created her first song to now, she has always been and always will be political, and she needs to accept that. I think she has set herself up for this, and it's not going well for her. Fringe looks awful today, so I really do apologise. I need to go wash my hair. But that's all I have to say about Miss Chappell Roan today. Like I said, don't have a full formulated opinion on her. Don't think I ever will. But I'm not a fan. And if I had been a hardcore fan and I'd witnessed all this go down, I feel a bit orcs about her. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Never know how to end these things. Bye.